So right now Victory is feeding a lot of people. We're feeding men that are staying in our shelter on Broadway, and we're also feeding the men in our restoration program. We're also feeding children of essential workers that are in a program over at the Discovery Center in a partnership with them.
We're serving 375 meals out of the kitchen every day.
So we weren't expecting to be doing this. Nobody was really expecting any of this, but we were planning for potentially being impacted by COVID-19, and so our models had looked at different numbers of visitor counts and when we were going to have to close. And so we've been in close contact with the health department, and the health department had said, hey, one of the things that's keeping us up at night is what happens when the schools close. What do we do with those school-age kids so that our healthcare workers and first responders can be doing their job? And I said, well, you know, we have summer camps. We are used to doing things, caring for kids, educating kids. We have a giant building, 60,000 square feet. If we need to, and the schools make that announcement, then we can close our facilities and do that flip. So that's why we did it, and that's why we're still doing it, because schools are closed.
We're providing them with hot meals every day so that they can have something good to eat and not just have to live on sandwiches and chips, you know. We want to really bless them any way that we can, and we have such a skilled and talented group of men working in our kitchen that it's a great way for us to give back.
When we first found out who we were cooking for, it's the kids. When we found out we were cooking for the kids, and they told us that they were the healthcare workers' children, we just got excited. We said, well, we can't send them anything under par. We're just going to have to go next level with them every single time we cook for them. And I think it's wonderful that we can help alleviate a little bit of stress from their mothers and fathers, so their fathers can just focus on helping other families and doing what they do in the community and just helping people get better.
Well, considering, you know, I have a son, and I know what it means to be a father, but I have not been. And to have the initiative to reach out and feed kids is more of a blessing for me than it is for them eating it.
So everything when we first started was not as good as it is today, and the food is a very good example of that. The food that we're getting now is fantastic, but one of the things, you know, we had certain requirements that we were trying to meet nutritiously. Like, so step one when we did this was, let's make sure kids are safe, let's make sure they're fed, let's make sure that, you know, all those things, the basic needs were being met. And so it involved a lot of sandwiches and a lot of bagels and things like that that were consistent. They showed up. You know, we had it covered. They were getting nourishment, and now they're getting really tasty nourishment. So, like, now they're getting other needs met as far as taste buds go.
Well, when we heard that they were just getting cold sandwiches before, we started, you know, we had to start doing something a little bit different. So we started making them homemade meatballs. We just started doing just Salisbury with mashed potatoes, just simple comfort food, really, but definitely a lot more nutritious than just sandwich.
We were, of course, interested in providing better homemade food for the kids. I mean, that's what better way to get kids to eat than with homemade food, because they really have a hard time eating. It's a struggle to get kids to eat. But when you give them mac and cheese and homemade burgers, I mean, they're gonna eat. Homemade chicken nuggets even that were hand battered. Not only did the kids eat, but the staff would have finished their plates if they hadn't. They didn't, because that's not COVID safe, but they would have because they were so good.
When I heard that they kept coming back with the things that we made for them, it was wonderful. It just it inspired me to do better each time that we cooked for them.
Watching kids eat and get nourished and enjoy it, it's always been something I've enjoyed in the restaurant world, in watching that sort of humanity that happens around eating, but watching these specific kids who are going through trauma through this COVID-19 experience smile, and there's a certain sort of happiness that comes from getting to watch a child clear their plate today than would have been yesterday even.
For me, that it hit home because I struggled with poverty growing up, and so I know what it's like to be hungry, you know, and as a kid, and so to me it's an honor, it's a bliss and ministry, and to know that they're on the front line, what their parents are doing, what the cause is for, you know, it warms my heart.
Well, I love that there's a connection there, because every day it makes a meaningful impact in these kids' lives, what they're doing. I mean, food's a big part of every child's day. As silly as that may sound, you know, they are constantly thinking about, like, hey, what snack am I going to have today? What am I going to have for lunch? What's breakfast? And I think, you know, I have a kid, and I have several kids, and one of them this morning asked, like, hey, what are we having for breakfast today? Before we'd even started the day, like really truly started the day. And so kids think about that, and to know that there's meaningful connection happening, not only as the kids are eating it, but that it starts upstream beyond that in how it's being prepared, and the care and love and thought and concern that goes into it. It's an incredibly good and satisfying loop of happiness that I would love to connect one day, where the kids could see the people that have been making their food, and that they could maybe see the kids that they've been serving, and maybe get a chance to connect and say thank you.
His name is Corey, and he's the chef.
Hi guys.
Let's say to Corey.
I'm gonna give 5 stars out of 5.
5 stars out of 5.
5 stars? Wow, that is high reviews right there, buddy.
That's so good. No, I'm just gonna go back and
Okay, do that.
Thank you. Thank you. You best chef in the world.
Workforce development is a vital part of our restoration program. Men that come to our restoration program are coming from difficult circumstances, and one of the ways that we want to build them up is preparing them for a lifetime of meaningful work.
My name's Robert Higgins. I'm with Victory Missions program, and my job title is a kitchen intern.
Oh, my job is, I work with, right now, I'm kind of training under Corey because my goal is to make this a vocation. I'm going to culinary school, so.
And so we have a workforce development chaplain, John Pace, who works with the guys that have different assignments at Victory Mission. In the very beginning of our program, they might be volunteering, but then they can move into an internship. One of those internships that we offer is in our kitchens. So in our food services, men can come in and work in our commercial kitchen, gain experience making wonderful food, and food for people that really need it, and get to spend time with our staff and our chaplains, and really learn a lot of things about how when you're working, you're fulfilling God's plan for yourself.
Before, I was pretty bad off, and I always had a good job. I was always working, always had a place. But I got in a little bit of trouble for the first time ever in my life.
I was a mess. I was a disaster. I was in and out of prison. I was broken.
And then from there, I came here, and this is where I found Jesus.
I was lost, and I've gained hope with Victory Mission. Victory Mission gave me an opportunity to restore my life, to rebuild it.
But when we moved over here, I got to work in the kitchen every day. And so I kind of got to develop a little bit of passion, and not just as a career, but as a ministry as well. So I've gained a vision through this.
And it's a way to learn essential skills like showing up to work on time, following directions, and working with a team. But then also higher level skills like how to make amazing food, how to work in a kitchen, how to do well in that environment. It's a win-win all around for the guys.
Feels good. I have my struggles, and just to know that somebody believes in me and somebody trusts me is big for me.
I never knew that I was capable of doing so, and now I am.
Right now, he's just got me doing the basics. I'm learning the fundamentals, so I can. Because the plan is when he hands me off to OTC, that I will be able to just fly to that program. And so I'm actually learning. So I'm starting to move into more of the cooking now.
I think it's a blessing, and I think I'm very thankful for the opportunity to be able to do it.
I've always taken away from my community in my past. I've never given back, and to serve my community now is a phenomenal feeling, and I want to do it with 100% of my heart and mind.